Right, we're live again. Oops. Nobody saw that.
The Wi-Fi is kind of choppy here.
That's why I'm not using Wi-Fi anymore. I'm using data.
Well, I can see what's happening.
So I'm not really good at people's names. Would people like to let me know what they are so that I can take attendance?
Manya?
Chris, Marketplace?
Merchandise.
Sean? Richie? I was only told I was part of ComCon years ago, so.
Well, we may need you.
And the Masquerade winner of last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is your name?
And this is Drayden Richie.
I'm sorry.
Drayden Richie.
Dragon.
Welcome to Cuba.
He wants to do election.
You're always volunteering.
And I know, is it Josie?
Yeah.
Or Josie?
Jose.
Josie. I always see it on Facebook.
JOSW.
It's
Yeah.
it's got the French pronunciation.
Yes.
That's how you pronounce it.
I knew you out there.
All right, Chris from
All right.
Market.
All right, okay.
From Marketplace.
I'm
you
really
said?
glad. And, oh, no.
You guys just have solution when possible.
The super set.
Yeah, okay. Then, so it's super stack and then where?
Super thread.
Oh, super thread.
And unfortunately, they have an iOS app, but not an Android app yet, so it's just been go through us so far. I put the request in, and they said request received, but.
Because I have a thing for it and then it disappeared.
Because I know you do have the merchandising board on it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you send me the link?
Yes, they can. Not a problem.
And they still have a web app, so you can still use the web version.
Yeah, exactly. So it is posted on the group. We want to do digital version of the minutes and agenda. So I guess we have just 2 more minutes to see if anyone shows up, but we'll start at 4:10.
Is that the last meeting? Is that the last meeting?
Yes, this is the minutes from last meeting and the agenda that we will this one. There's 10 copies, so if you run out, we'll just have to. Legal business or shoulders. Yep. There's 10 copies.
Well, that's back to what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Low enough to come, but not low enough not to wear a mask.
Which is a bonus.
At the Wednesday meeting, I was like, okay, if I can get through this, if I can just lie there.
I think that's okay. That's disruptive. I appreciate that. As long as you don't mind honey lemon. As long as you don't mind honey lemon.
The only thing I was worried about was Papa Dance, so we'll do it, right?
They never leave home.
Okay, so it looks like this is the crew we're gonna have today, so I'll follow them into order. First, we're gonna do the approval of the agenda. If you haven't had a chance to look through, feel free to look through, see if there's anything that you feel needs to be added or addressed that was missed today. have to be deferred until next meeting due to the department not being able to attend today, but we can still address some of the points for those departments. Okay, hearing no other business, approval of minutes. Similar thing, if anyone wants to look through and just see if anything was missed that should have been, pushed forward.
I'm sorry, was the agenda approved?
Yeah, hearing no, revisions, we approved the moving on to
Who
minutes.
approved it?
Hmm?
Who approved it?
Well,
Well,
I will.
and who seconded it?
One who. Sorry, I did more informally this time.
If you want, I don't have to take minutes, I thought you'd want me
Yeah, no, that's okay. We appreciate that.
to.
Or at least I do anyway.
Was there any revisions anyone felt needed to be requested of the minutes? Okay, hearing none, can I have a movement to accept them? One,
A second?
okay, and Chris seconds. Cool. So convention timelines, updates from the chairs, general KeyCon state of affairs, and convention proper. Do you want to start with? Sarah. So, of course, we're having KeyCon, yay! Our guest of honor flights have all been booked, / travel has been accommodated. We have had booking rooms for all of our guests already. We are only waiting on Black Magic Crafts to confirm if he's doing 3 days or if he is taking the Thursday as well. Aside from that, all of that is booked and solidified. Yay! We have heard from Chris at Marketplace that I believe most of, or all of our Marketplace and Artist Alley has been selected.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had one dropout since, and we've gone to the wait list, and we get that confirmed as soon as possible.
Awesome. So we have all our Marketplace and Artist Alley back again. We are doing an Artist Alley again this year. We have also reached out to a couple of the guests of honor, specifically our artist guests of honor, and they have offered potential pieces for an art auction again this year.
Oh.
Yeah! So we are going to be doing an art auction for the charity Cancer Care this year as well. So that'll be very exciting. We have started getting the programming in very, very, very liquid jello. A little more liquid than we like, but we're planning to have a programming meeting coming up shortly to start addressing that and getting it a little more solidified jello. We are also, of course, doing more marketing and promotion coming up with KeyCon Light coming up very, very shortly. We're hoping to reach out to some of the news stations or radio stations, see if anyone wants to do an on-site attendance to help promote the convention. We also have our hospitality suite form and our hotel booking form out there. We're trying to push for those, so if you want a hospitality suite or if you need your hotel room, we do have all the forms to set that up for you guys. Trying to think which details I'm some registration stuff, so hopefully we'll have.
I'm sorry?
We've also sorted out some of the registration stuff, so we do have another, packet that was going out, if it hasn't already.
You mean for Keycon Light, or have you moved on to Keycon proper?
Well, this is Keycon proper, we're doing the general overview right now,
Right,
and then we'll come back to Keycon Light later.
okay.
So we hopefully will see a few more in-person memberships come through that. And then starting to talk with our merchandise to start looking at getting the mock-ups out, getting some quotes from places, and start deciding which places we're gonna go with for our merchandise this year. Okay?
You know how many members we're sitting at right now paid?
Albert?
No, I'm afraid I can't give that information today. I have to coordinate with the treasurer and find out how many online registrations we have.
Okay.
But other registrations are below 100.
Okay.
Not by much anymore. But yeah, I need to coordinate with treasurer and get a complete list of all the online registrations.
Okay.
If you can reach out to Leamber about that this week, though.
And I've asked her before, and I'll have to bug her again.
I also do have membership forms, if any of the Concom need their $35 one, or if any people need their regular whole weekend memberships, I do have, or even like, whichever membership you need, I do have the forms for them today if you need as well.
I can also set up a link to our square.
Yeah.
I'm calling it the Q. To the square for memberships as well.
So yeah, and we hope to do a few more again at Keycon Light, because we find that at the in-person events is where we do get quite a few more memberships. Each event we've attended, we've generally gotten 5 or more memberships sold, so those tend to be a little bit more of a push, especially Keycon Light being kind of our last big event before the big show, tends to sell a few more as well. Aside from that, yeah, we're also planning to have a programming or publications meeting with our publications Lori Smith soon, so that they can begin working on, we're doing a pocket program this year as well as a paid souvenir book. It will be paid with part of the money going to us, part of the money potentially going to charity. We haven't fully worked that out yet, it depends on the quotes and such. But it will have the extra value of stuff like a full autograph section. It will have coupons and stuff like that from potentially some of our advertisers and vendors. So we're looking at what added value we can put into a souvenir book to really make this worthwhile as a souvenir item instead of just. Admittedly, I've kept most of my Keycon books as well, but they're kind of all in a drawer right now where it would be nice to have it as a souvenir item, I think.
Something could be prominently placed.
Yeah,
And the last one we did was 25.
yeah, exactly. Was there any other questions or thoughts about kind of the overview of where things are standing? Yeah. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Ian. If you're looking to make it a collectible, would you possibly have a signing from guests, maybe at the ice cream sold show?
Yeah, and so that's the thing is with the whole online section, like we would have it signed by the guests and stuff like that for whoever was purchasing it. We obviously don't charge for the autographs, but they're paying for the book with all of its content, not for the individual autograph of the art. Because, yeah, we don't want to monetize guest interaction that way, but paying for the book and then having it signed by the guest, I think would be a good value. Cool. So Keycon.
You mentioned that there was going to be a book somewhere to advertise. Where did you say that was? I didn't quite catch what you said. For Keycon?
For the March book?
Oh, you mean just at Keycon Light?
Yeah, Keycon Light would be like having the booth with like the mock-up for the merchandise. We'd obviously have the passes at that front table and stuff to sell and stuff like that. That kind of thing. I think for merch we are thinking t-shirts, possibly hoodies and stuff, depending on hoodies on pricing. But also stickers, buttons, and then Joey has offered to make us some keycom bracelets as well, that we sell. So you'll have a good array of, little bits and bobs that people can get if they can't afford the full t-shirt, but also still have the t-shirts, because it's one of the things that, again, I myself have collected every year, just because it's so cool to see all the years, especially with the artist artwork on it.
And if you wanted to, I'm throwing this out there, if Joey's gonna do bracelets, we could do keychains
Oh, cool. Awesome.
with the actual keycon.
Keycon logo
Yeah.
or Toby.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
okay,
Thank you.
no problem.
Hey, so next point is KeyCon Light. It is going to be occurring on the Ides of March. However, we're leaning more toward the St. Patrick's Day theme, just because the whole thing with the Ides of March is it's ill will and doom, and we figured we probably not want to invite that into the event. Yeah. However, we are doing we're trying to make it less stereotypical St. Patrick's Day with, the leprechauns and the gold everywhere. One of the things I looked into was in Ireland during St. Patrick's Day, or St. Patrick's Week, they actually have Irish cultural celebrations, including Irish Language Week. So we thought it'd be cool for stuff like throwing up fandom words, but in Irish, around the center and stuff like that, to more so focus on the culture rather than the stereotype, but still celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Some other ideas were like maybe a green cosplay contest. So you could cosplay as like Irish identified characters, or the greener the character, the more points you might get for green. Certain things like that could be really fun to do. Yeah.
What happens if you don't have like something that is not green but
That's totally fair. Participation is completely optional.
Orange is also an option?
Yeah.
what about black?
Yeah. You could cosplay however you wanted.
Okay, because I have an outfit and
That's totally fair. Yeah, it would just be like kind of an optional little fun extra time if we wanted to do that. Then we are finalizing things. We were talking earlier today is it could, because we have to rely on slow cookers and electrical cookware, we have access to the kitchen but not to the oven or element. That we are looking at maybe a slow roasted meat like beef or pork, maybe as a pulled pork sandwich or something like that, with slow cook roasted veggies and maybe a rice risotto or something, because I have rice cooker and stuff like that, and can do a number of batches of rice that we mix with the sauce.
Didn't mean to sound like I'm being harsh about the
No.
potato thing, but just,
One of the ideas was mashed potatoes, because it would be easy to do large batch mashed potatoes, but they are high starch, and we do have a number of members in the community that do have issues with diabetic starchers, so.
trying very hard to be.
I've also noticed, running with the suite last year, that we had a lot of people that were not wanting the red meat and stuff. So
Yeah.
I could also bring in a farm fresh smoked chicken if you want.
One?
Oh, it's a 10-pounder
Yeah.
that we can pull and do like a pulled meat with the chicken meat as well.
Yes, if you're willing to,
Yeah,
we'd
I could do
be
that.
very happy to discuss that.
Bring on the annual chicken roast.
so we question, would there be a vegetarian option too for those with
Yeah.
dietary?
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one reason we were looking for like a lot of the roast veg, the rice, stuff that, to calling for that, and then we are still looking at the best option for a vegetarian meat to replace like beef or pork. That's not just more roast veggies or that kind of thing. I do have a toaster oven, so one of the ones I was considering was something like roasted cauliflower or something like that, done in the toaster oven. I also have a Ninja Foodie that does air frying, so like air fried cauliflower bites or something like that is a possibility.
But that's still not a protein.
We'll figure that
It's not a
out.
protein.
We're gonna, I'm gonna send a message to Carol later and figure out something with her and her husband. Because they've catered to it for the event in prior years.
Yeah, and like worst comes to worst, a good fallback for slow cooking meals that do have is a chili. It would just be, you'd have chili with the veggies and the rice, and so it'd be a little bit different, more hodgepodge than otherwise, but yeah, we are looking at options like that.
If you're gonna do chili, you can do a VGR, which is vegetarian, no
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah,
It just looks like meat.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The merchants have been chosen for some
Yeah,
market.
we sent out 4 invitations and we've
Yep.
got confirmations. We're gonna have 4 vendors there. Sean, did you see the email sent a couple of days ago about promoting with them on social media?
Yes, as soon as I've got those names or that information comes to me, I can do stuff with that.
Okay, so you would like email, so Nathan had responded, I hadn't seen something from you.
Oh,
So
I thought I
you're
responded.
fine with sending their emails or contact information to you, and then you can deal with them
Yep.
directly?
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect,
Sooner the better.
absolutely.
We have allocated some prizes for the social. We have a number of places that we've reached out to, such as like Roomers, the Balmers is offering us stuff, a few other places like that, yeah. And so we do have quite a few bits and bobs that are slowly trickling in for prizes. We're planning to go through and arrange a list of what we've got, who we're waiting to hear back from, so we can have a collated list of what we're expecting, so we can better form the prize packs for the social coming up. Our DJ has also been booked, so we do have our DJ. We are planning to do.
What's the name of our DJ again?
This is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Kenny.
I have it written down at
Kinsley.
home.
Is the
Yeah.
information, okay.
Same guy as last year?
Yep.
DJ Thor, is that last name?
No, before we had reached out to him at the start of the year, and he just wasn't getting back to us. So we did go with the same DJ as last year as we had for the extravaganzas, or for KeyCon Light and KeyCon Chopper last year.
Who's the DJ for Light, by the way?
It's the same person for both, so same one that was last year for both.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah, he seemed to keep people on the floor pretty well, so. We are planning to do trivia during the dinner portion of KeyCon Light. So that way there's some entertainment going on while people are sitting and having those chill moments.
I'm sorry, that was trivia?
Trivia, yeah.
Yeah. Outside of that, because the room is one larger space, we don't have a sectioned area for programming. But I have put it out, if people are still interested in doing something, they can reach out to us and we can see if we can accommodate it with the space we have. We're gonna obviously get the decor, the food, stuff like that, a little closer to KeyCon Light. Aside from that, does anyone have any ideas, thoughts, questions, or like?
For KeyCon proper, we were discussing last year, maybe doing the photo shoot vehicles out front.
Yes.
Do you still want to do something like that?
That would be fun, but I
If you
just
want
haven't.
to, I gotta start getting a hold of them
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get movie vehicles out
I
there.
mentioned the Ghostbusters playing Comic-Con, and they did give me their business cards so I could talk to them to find out who they rent their vehicle from.
Okay.
Unfortunately, then things slid away from me a little bit, and I realized yesterday that, I haven't reached out to any of these guys yet.
I mean,
so I
if you
should
wanna
jump
go
on
ahead
that.
and do that, let us know.
Yeah, I can do that.
When you can. I know, like, during
I know.
several car shows last year, I was asking a bunch of people if they'd be
Yeah.
interested, but.
I know I have Ecto one,
Okay.
guaranteed, and I have, of course, my corporation security truck.
Okay.
So,
And
for
I
those-
may have Night Rider
Yeah.
as well, so.
Yeah, I talked to him too, but the thing is, maybe on the weekend, he said that he may or may not be able to, you
Yeah.
know, because he has other shows that he
Yeah,
does.
that's what I'm discussing
Mm-hmm.
on too, and the Fall Guys truck as well.
So for those unfamiliar with what he's mentioning is, me and him had talked during KeyCon last year, I think on the Sunday, and we realized that we have about 10 or 15 different fandom vehicles all here in the city together. So like there's the Scooby-Doo van,
Yeah.
there's his umbrella vehicle, there's the ectoplasma one, there's someone in, I think it's Saskatchewan, who has a DeLorean with the lifting lifting doors.
We actually have one here in.
We do have
the
one here
city.
as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, yep.
Yeah, there's a Knight Rider kit car driving about,
Yep.
fully loaded, and
I
it
think someone has
talks.
a Batmobile too.
I know a guy who's working currently on a Batmobile, and whether or not it'll be done by May is another question.
So we thought, how cool would it be if, even just for like half an hour or an hour, we could get all the cars coordinated in the parking lot, and people would come out and, you know,
Do
take
photo
pictures in
shoots,
front
yeah.
of all the vehicles all at once.
Any chance we can get a blue beetle?
That'd be cool. Very possibly. I'm sure there's at least one in the city, so.
The only problem I foresee with this is parking, because there
Yeah.
is a lack of parking at the airport.
Or at the very least in the front of it.
There
but
was a-
No,
one
no,
front
in the back.
Parking spot in
Yeah, more
the
room in the
back
back.
that was
Yeah.
empty all through it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's more
Well-
room in the back.
Yeah,
Lots of room in the
and-
back.
More for visibility.
And it depends on
Yeah.
what time of day, because during the day, the parking lots are more empty. But at night, when all the guests come in, the parking
Yeah.
lots fill up.
Well, pray for nice weather. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying.
wasn't loud.
Any long weekend doesn't give
Yeah,
us.
there's umbrella weather may wreck those photos, but we thought it would be a very, very cool idea.
We just have a lot of umbrellas.
The
that's all.
visual of all the fandom cars lined up
Mhm.
outside
Mhm.
could be very photo worthy kind of thing. Yeah, so hearing not too much else about KeyCon Lite. Membership sales, we touched a little bit on this. Like I said, if people want to help us push the membership sales, yeah.
I was actually kind of, this is a suggestion I was talking to Joey about, and she made a really good suggestion of, maybe reaching out to local libraries or, bookstores like Nellie Robinson,
Yeah.
and asking if they have any of the books for our guest of honor.
Oh.
Basically putting it together into a display with an advertisement for KeyCon, showing that, hey, you like these books, want to meet the author, it's gonna be here in the city.
Yeah, we can probably bring that up because there's a agenda item for Tanya Huff.
Yeah, there's
We
an
can-
We
agenda.
have to,
Well, yeah, but we
Because she has
can-
a book coming out in April, so
Yeah.
we're going to
reach out to them and ask.
Okay, so Chris, did you have the more direct contact info for her? Or-
Myself specifically, no, but she is on Facebook. I don't know
Yeah.
if you could message her from there.
Yeah, I could easily message her from there. I just didn't know if you had her email at all.
No.
I always like to send emails rather than
No,
Facebook, that's
the
rather old
only-
school, where I'm like.
I said, the only reason I know that she's coming is that she's coming to have someone who's going to be in the marketplace. So
That's
she's coming, with the relief help.
Okay. I just figured I'd check, I'm old school, I like sending emails, and social media messages if I can.
I'd be okay with calling or writing a message out to McNally, see if they'd be willing to do a reading.
Well, we want to double check, that confirm
Yeah.
that Tanya's coming, and then
Yeah.
see if she's interested,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then from there.
Do we have a poster that we can also give out to?
yes, probably
I have
have
posters
You have
in the
posters
car.
in your car,
Oh, in
okay.
the car, okay.
Because I was gonna fill out the volunteer form, because I didn't mean you to do that, but I am available, I currently have a working car, and I can basically just be a runner if you
actually, we'll grab a couple from you before you leave, because there's a couple places here that I'll drop
I'll
the
bring in
posters
the
out to.
Yeah, I hit most of the places out the west part of the city, and a couple west coast.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we could have a list of where has them already, that would be.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have the posting and typed document, I just hadn't updated it with what we've hit so far.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you've got a list of them.
Yeah, I have tons of lists from last year that they used, so. But yes, thank you. So yeah, we are looking at, already reaching out to the bookstore for 10 up, but we can definitely, as I said, obviously do it for our other two offers as well, yeah. But yeah, otherwise, we're doing okay, I think. Somewhat similar to last year, because I think we had only around 100 by the start of KeyCon last year as well, if I'm not mistaken, Albert.
Yeah, it was slow last year, it's slow this year.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, what we really need to do is social media blasts.
Yeah,
We need to have people post and share often.
Here, yay.
On as many,
Yeah.
on as many social media platforms as we can stick our nose into.
Yeah. Like I said, we are planning to reach out to more radio stations, news stations, stuff like that in the coming week, so that way we can hopefully get the word out that way as well.
I have a question. How do we feel about attracting more of a teenage audience?
Absolutely, we
So-
need young blood in the.
So is there a reason that we shouldn't be approaching schools to put it up on bulletin boards at schools?
we could.
Most schools don't do that because it
You have to go
opens
to the
the
school
door.
board.
It opens the doors to other issues, so they tend to say, no, we're not going to.
Yeah,
What about
they
universities?
tend to
But what about
veer away
universities?
from it.
University and the university both have.
They
Remember, I
both
put up.
have it already?
Posters when I was at UW.
Yeah, UW and UVM both have. I think it's just the elementary schools that is the.
Try maybe plug in Red River.
Red
Yeah.
River, Red River would,
Yeah.
as long as you go through the appropriate
Proper
Yeah,
offices.
you have to get like, a stamp or something on the posters,
Mhm.
otherwise they get taken down.
Yeah, you have to go,
Yeah.
effectively, you have to either go through the student union at U of M or through one of the recognized clubs. At least that's the way it was 20 years ago. I imagine it hasn't changed very
Yeah,
much.
they do
Ken's
have
did it for
at
us
the
at UW,
At the
so.
U of M, it stated that the student union would have to approve.
Yeah, that's anything inside OMSU, but there's also all the other
But it,
college buildings around there that have.
Yeah, so we're able to
And it
do it
needs
with
to
the
approve
colleges
some.
that way, but not necessarily like the high schools and stuff for the teens, unfortunately. What we could do, and I've been meaning to reach out to them, is, see if any, like the, Sherbrooke Youth Center, stuff like that.
Community centers and stuff.
Yeah. Where I would,
Community centers, if
Honestly,
you have
if
one
it
in your
was-
area, please drop them, drop posters off there.
yeah,
question, are the student newspapers still a thing?
At the university,
The
yes.
Manitoba, for
Yes.
example?
yeah.
Can we investigate putting an ad in the Manitoban, or at least for 4 or 5 issues or something?
Yeah, we can definitely
There
look
is-
into it.
And the same thing applies to University of Winnipeg. They can't remember what their student newspaper used to be, but,
Something?
no,
Uniter.
United, that's it.
And I can't remember if Red River has one or not.
So, who would be doing that? Is that something that you, I'm looking marketing and advertising as Katie, but
Yeah. We're having a meeting with her ideally.
I can look into, trying to connect with some like the radio stations and, there is like an independent news, paper called the Uptown. And I'll see how much it costs to get into that.
Yeah, that is the one trick your point is, without an extra influx of membership sales, we essentially have a free media budget. Where it's
No, I was just
$0.
wondering, because it used to be fairly cheap, I don't know what they're charging.
Yeah. Cause yeah, that's the only unfortunate side is that, yeah, without an influx of extra memberships, our working advertising budget is effectively zero, but.
And, I am also part of Frontier
pretty sure Luke would be willing to do cross-promotion stuff.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I do have a podcast, so if anybody is willing to do a show or a couple shows with me where we talk about KeyCon and what we all do, it's an open invite.
So that's, the general premise of membership sales is trying to get more of that push going. So for old business, third-party sales, as I mentioned, we have had the package distribution resumed, and we are looking at the list of places to be reconfirmed and updated, so that way if there is extra places that we're willing to sell our passes, we reach out to those, we get the packages out to them.
The meeting we had the other day, we had like 2 places in like the outlier ends of town.
Yeah,
What about those people that don't live there?
well, and Hoopers was going out, if not has gone out, and then there was a few other places, such as, Game said, a very light
Still-
maybe.
But
and
still
stuff.
like, that's over here.
Yeah, oh,
right?
thank you.
But like, we used to do, Book Fair used to be one of our retailers.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that because it was downtown, you know, you get off the bus from work, you go to Book Fair, you buy your membership, you check your next bus, go home.
Yeah, it's another one that we were planning to check back in.
They were dropped a while back, and I don't know why they were dropped.
I think they were dropped around after the pandemic or during the pandemic because they were only allowing it wasn't just free access to their building, you had to actually knock on their
Yeah, it was
door.
reserved access
Yeah.
at that
I
time.
think we're open now.
Or are they?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
I think
Well,
it's,
I can hit them.
So I thought they closed their access to from the
From upstairs,
So
yeah,
from the
but,
mall, they
but,
definitely have.
but you can go from the main floor and still go in and,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hit them and see if they're willing to do it.
just because they're the only bookstore downtown. And
yeah,
everything else is, like, even game night is way over here. But what about everybody else that's, you know, on the bus and
Yeah.
doesn't want to have to
Mhm.
go that far out to get past?
And
Or-
through my wrestling, the wrestling thing that I do, one of our wrestlers has a collectible shop on Portage.
okay.
So I can talk to him and see if he can.
Yeah, sorry, I can't talk to him. Me and him don't have a good rapport with each other.
But yeah, if you wouldn't mind talking on our behalf then.
I kind of burnt my bridge with him.
Yeah.
I
I
have.
was also, it's probably more, a little
I
bit
let
more
him
of a long
kick the
shot,
crap
but
out of
whether
me.
somewhere like, across the board might be willing to
Yeah.
as well, so.
Or on music cities.
Yeah,
They're already on the list.
They are. Yeah,
probably
even
get a
for some
poster
others, cause
Yeah.
really they approach
I
me,
would like down
you can
the
bring
road
Dead
to
Dog
be-
to say, yes, we're doing it again for you guys, so I really appreciated that they actually jumped on me, did Dead Dog and said, yes, we wanna be your first seller. Please
I
put
know
it
this
on
doesn't
us.
work for this year, but what about if we advertise in things like the Fringe Festival for the following year?
The only thing with the Fringe Festival is to do advertising with them. I did put posters outside the main Fringe area, because you can't put anything non-Fringe in the Fringe area. And then to have anything like a booth was a chunk of change.
What about, seeing about the price of having an ad in the program guide?
That was still a chunk of change, but not as bad. Because I think, if I remember correctly, that's the equivalent of having like the more expensive version of a Pride float. So it's still like a couple
That's
hundreds.
Yeah.
not much.
Might also bring up the
I was
idea
trying to think it's
to
bigger than
Doc
posters then.
and Sean, you're running next year's KeyCon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Send me email, and they can phone me.
That's modernizing this.
Send me email.
Oh, so it drives me nuts. It's apparently the kids today don't recognize this as the Tommy. They know this.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so weird.
And for,
That makes me feel so old.
for next year also, going along that type of idea as well, is I was planning on doing a float or something of that idea in the parade.
For Pride,
Well,
On your, it's,
on my own, so I would,
come
I
talk to
could-
me, because
yeah.
I need some help here.
yeah, and then we can put Keycon in on it as well.
Yeah,
yeah, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
like, talk to me after this.
Yeah, we looked at, we even looked at just, like, go back to the, like, we had actually looked at stuff like the Santa Claus parade, like the Taker's picnic, and those reach $1,500 to participate in.
I
Yeah.
used to
So
work-
it's like,
I used to work at picnics.
yeah.
It's expensive.
See, and
That would have been perfect,
the
but,
Taker's Picnic is also one of those where it rains.
yeah.
Yes. Constant.
But yeah, at just $1,500, we don't have that kind of budget, unfortunately, with the extension at this time.
Yeah.
That's that kind of money.
But doing another stint with the children's festival would be fun too. But
Yes. And actually, we did get a few people who bought passes coming from there, which is nice, so,
Yeah, I got it out there real good.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just had another thought of where to advertise possibly. What about like the community theater rights?
I know there was the Gargoyle Theater that Ian had mentioned to check in with. So there's that one, and then,
The one next to the museum, Contagious?
Pantages?
Yeah.
Are they
Pantages is,
open?
no, Pantages has been closed for many
Yeah.
years.
Oh.
But I was gonna
you
say
can
Prairie,
check
Prairie Theater
with,
Exchange.
oh,
NTC
Arbor
and Warehouse themselves might allow posters potentially.
Yeah.
And what about the one at the Forks? Is that
MTYP. Yeah. So we could check with them as
Base,
well.
Children's Museum, right?
maybe?
Or something.
Flash Fest is
Coming up very quickly.
March, April,
Yeah.
but I don't know how we would do a tie-in. So Flash Fest is basically it's a bring your own venue thing where you put, if you're a photographer and you wanna show your wares, you basically find a venue that is willing to put your pictures up on the wall, and Flash Fest basically posts it, so there's like 24 locations here in Winnipeg. Plus they have, sometime at the end of March, early April, they have an exhibition at the gas station theater.
It could be 16 cosplay at a time.
That's another thing.
Yeah. The other one I was gonna say is our past artist guest of honor.
Or and also like a cosplay photo shoot kind of
Yeah.
advertisement.
Gas station theater's another one.
Yeah, gas station theater.
Yeah, so like I said, I know that event's coming up, I don't know how to do a tie-in though, because like I said, it's a distributed photo
I mean,
exhibition.
unless we do a sci-fi themed photo shoot.
Yeah, but that's not
one
them.
day and just and tell the pictures, but.
Would you
yeah.
have people that are willing to be in the pictures?
I have, there's quite a few cosplayers in this.
And we do have our cosplay archive from past years as well.
Yeah.
so. I think only one of our photos have gotten like the request to be revoked out of everything, so.
I mean, if there's anybody that that we can talk to would be the people who do the
There's like the
D&D show
flag
for
birds,
Fringe. See if they would come to keep on.
So yes, quite a few ideas. We appreciate them all, and I will be going back to our YouTube channel to view the recording with all the pretty notes.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was deleted. It was accidentally maliciously deleted.
So we talked about Geek on Light, organizational apps. As Manya had mentioned at the start of this, we had been using Superthread. Admittedly, I think with all of us, life had caught up to us and some of the stuff is lit. I'm trying to go in and do some reorganization, do some updating and catch up of things so that way we can jump back in there and have that as a collaborative space to work together. I really like it. If anyone's ever heard of Trello or used Trello, it's very similar. But a lot of the stuff that Trello says you have to get the premium account for, this guy does for free. He just does it in a slightly less pretty way. But I can deal with that. You know, you can't have the pretty customized colored background, but it does everything else you need and can have include pages. So I can literally copy paste from the Google Doc onto the Trello, or onto the Super Thread rather. So I've been liking that even if I let it slide remotely. Doodle poll, this last one that we did for the Monday meeting and for this meeting had quite decent response. So out of I think 15 members of CONCOM, we had 10 people respond to the doodle polls. So it's very appreciated. That seemed to have worked this time, so we'll probably keep using it for the upcoming meetings again. And then Facebook group and Messenger. One of the things that I've noted, I haven't mentioned it yet, sorry, Will, not to surprise you with it, which is a lot
Doesn't
of
surprise me.
a lot of our messages have been individual to individual, which is great until I try and go back and look for information.
sorry? Until what?
Is great until I try and go back and look for information we talked about. So I am going to recommend that some of the talks that may involve multiple departments be brought to the main group, just so that all of the departments can feed in at the same time rather than having to do back and forth conversations between 3 different Facebook Messenger groups. Because I've noticed that's a little thing that I've been doing is bouncing between, all right, need to talk to registration and treasurer, all right, now I'm talking to them both and I have to convey back and forth, and all right, here we go. Where I think some of those messages could be brought to the main messenger group for easier communication.
We
between
should
all
be
the
using the
departments.
KeyCon page a little bit more.
Yeah,
I just link to our live feed.
The page or the group are you referring to?
Like the KeyCon like website page needs to be updated. It still has Carol and Alex. It still has all the last year's information. There's nothing for this year.
Where are you going?
KeyCon.org.
that should be the case.
Like
because
2 days ago, I went
We've
2
been
days
updating.
ago, and
No.
it was all of last year's information.
Are you going to keycon.org 2023?
No, just KeyCon.org.
I would clear my cache if I were you.
There's
Yeah.
a current site.
There is one or two changes that I do need to still redo on the site, but
Also,
It
when you
should
send
be
out
done.
a meeting time, maybe you could put it on the face, because I get those Facebook things right away, but the emails are slow.
yeah, WINSPA's working on that. WINSPA has addressed that with the con-chair's email as well as some of the other.
Yeah, but then I don't have to check my email if you scheduled it 5 hours before the
Yeah,
meeting comes, right?
yeah, no, that's fair.
Because when I did it.
I was just saying that, yeah, WINSPA knows that it's a major problem, we're working on it,
It's
but
not a
we don't know
WINSPA
how to
problem
do
in this
it,
case.
So,
Your phone was just glitching.
but yeah.
Yeah, it just had no catch that didn't work properly.
But yeah, so that was that point that I was just going to address, is that hopefully we'll have a little better collaborative communication that way, rather than the disjointedness of 6 different messages going back and forth between like 3 different groups. For volunteers, we're trying to meet and talk about volunteers to have that correlated list of who's volunteered in the past, who's currently volunteering, and who we need to reach out for certain positions and such like that.
We do also have a Discord group if for whatever reason Facebook isn't
Yes, I just need to correlate
proper.
with Katie because she had the access to it being the creator, and she has to meet with me to do the updating on it. Yeah.
Because, I mean, we can always create our own little keep on 2025.
Yeah, we could create a whole new
No,
Discord
because that's in
server,
our
but,
public, on the main thing, just have, that as one of the discussions.
well, I don't have any of the options to update the old KeyCon Discord because it was created by Katie when she was marketing and social media, and so she has to give me access.
I guess you could make a new one and then just put
this is the updated one, or this is the
Yeah.
KeyCon odd year
2025,
one,
the government.
and then that's the KeyCon even year one. Because we do that for a lot of our other points of access as well, as have an odd year and even year, since they do have some overlap.
Oh, Sean?
Madam Chair,
Yep.
I will get in contact with Katie and get Katie to make me the admin of it, and I will make sure it gets passed on to the next social media person next year.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Because, yeah, we
Looking
were
forward to
hoping
that.
to revive the Discord this year, and unfortunately, that's just the delay as to why it hasn't happened, is getting that admin access so that we can go in and make the changes, make the updates, and revive it and refresh it, because it unfortunately is still set to, I think, 2021. So,
They haven't updated the picture of 2020 yet.
yeah. So, hence it died out a little bit. But that would be another great place for updating and providing information as well. New business items for the souvenir guides. So like we mentioned, we want to consider ideas for sections that add values. We also want to hear from our departments, what they feel needs to be included from their department into it. And unfortunately, Publications isn't here right now, but we are hoping to hear from Publications on what they would need from the departments to get started on what they need. So we do have a couple departments here. I don't know if any of you have any ideas of what you'd like to see from your department in the book.
Anything I can think of, say, from a marketplace,
Yep.
you've already said you're gonna have a space for all of the vendors.
Yep.
A map of the marketplace being there, and of course the option for them to upgrade their advertising if they like.
Yep. So we are gonna start off all of our marketplace and artist alley, traditional small advertisements. I believe, I want to say it's a 3x3.
3x5, not 3x3.
3x5. Thank you, Manya. Unfortunately, during Monday's meeting, none of us could recall, so.
Well, you had said 3x3, and then I was like, but that's only like this big.
Yeah. So 3x5. My apologies, Chris. So we start them off with 3x5, and then can increase the size all the way up to the most prestigious spots are going to be the inside front and back cover, where those would be the full color single page ads. And so then they'd have the whole page of the ad as the most prestigious spot in the book, essentially.
What do you do if everybody wants that and is willing to pay?
Usually
They
it's
pay for that.
That's a good problem to have.
Then you
Sell
add,
it.
then you add more pages.
Or add a cap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I mean, like, basically, it's like, hi, we'll take your money, add more pages.
yeah.
Yeah, but
And
it's
additional inserts of full color pages partway through the books, so. They could actually, that could be it, is,
Of the
you know.
problems to plan for, that's one of the ones that is easier.
Yes.
Ad
No,
space
it's
there.
okay.
Those are the prestigious, everybody's
Basically,
gonna
you
want
have
the
the
prestigious.
chapter title, so say marketplace and have a chapter title, and the back of the chapter title could be another full color advertisement, for instance, we needed it. So, we do have options like that if needed. Monuments, beyond obviously the display of the merch, the iconography of them, was there anything else from merchandise that you think would
Not
be useful?
in the book, I don't think off the top of my head, because I have no access to the thing. There's notes on the thing if you have access.
On the thing?
In the Super Scout,
Oh, yeah.
or Super Scout,
Super Thread?
I just don't have access to it, but we had, the notes are in there from our first meeting.
Okay.
That we had talked about, we had talked about that a bit there.
So Albert, I know your job will be done by the time the book's out. But between you and Glenn, is there anything that registration thinks would be cool to have in the book?
In the book, no, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a yearbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, like having a blank page for your autographs, for example.
For your friend.
But, yeah, pre-reg and reg, nothing in the souvenir book. Oh, by the way, this also is an assistant reg person. She basically does all the data entry at the con. So,
Yes, we might find a table.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had to sit on the
She
throne
was
thing.
before.
Okay, that's a hotel thing, but
Yes.
registration was very awkward. That's just the word
You are
awkward.
having the alternate storage room, as far as Alex said last time. So you won't be in that little closet, you'll actually be in the alternate storage room and have the whole room to yourself.
Lynn's not gonna be in the closet, what? He's coming
But do I have a counter?
Yeah,
Well, we may have tables for you instead of counters, but you'll have the
Something.
equivalent of a counter.
yeah.
I need
And the system we used last year where, for the first 100 registration on the Sunday,
Yeah,
we set it up so that we had a cash-only table
yeah.
and a plastic table. So, that worked out a lot better in terms of separating the lines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Way
it
easier.
was definitely good that way.
Yeah,
Because downtown, we had the two doors.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it just
Really
flowed so much nicer that way.
Maybe a way to ask people to write a little more legibly on their receipts. I'm sorry, it's,
Good idea.
Oh, you mean by post?
Post a big sign that says print only.
No, print legibly.
please, neat handwriting or something, because
Yeah.
I had to have a whole stack of like
Or-
ones that I needed to look for closely,
And-
because I couldn't read the name.
And for 2026, posters that clearly state, this is what we're charging and why you should sign up for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also adding checking off adult or child.
Yeah.
You can only tell by how much they were spending. So that was a little tricky with the individual days.
Reg, we will talk about 2026 later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or even like, just this year too, like, for anyone who hasn't gotten their registration yet.
We will, yeah.
Pretty decent
That is
signage.
another thought, sorry, just, I'm looking here, of, another idea for the kind of added value of the book is how you mentioned, like, the book is, one of the ideas we did have that we're still considering is possibly a page or two of full color pictures from our events throughout the year. And so stuff like Econ Light pictures, the picnic pictures, Kids Fest pictures could be in here, kind of almost as a yearbook portion of the memorabilia. So, just another kind of cool thought where it's not just KeyCon that you're remembering when you open this book, but it's the year of
The whole-
KeyCon.
We need waivers for that.